Hello and welcome to Pitt Street Research. My name is Stuart Roberts and I'm one of the co-founders of our firm. And joining me on the morning of Monday, the 6th of January 2025 is Mr. John Prineas, who's the CEO of St. George Mining, ASX SGQ. John, good morning.
Hello, Stuart.
And Happy New Year. You're the first interview I've done in 2025.
I hope that's a good omen. Happy New Year to you as well.
Now, it's going to be a particularly happy new year for you. August of last year, St. George negotiated the acquisition of the Araxa Niobium Project in Brazil. You're getting ready to get shareholder approval of that transaction. You're raising some money in order to acquire it and then press the button on some exploration there. Tell us how the Araxa transaction came about.
Yes, this is a wonderful advanced project. People know us as nickel and lithium explorer in Western Australia. Those commodities obviously very volatile and out of favour at the moment. So we were looking around for another project with a stable commodity, an advanced project which didn't really have exploration risk. And we found that with the Araxa project, high-grade niobium already drilled out to quite a large degree in Minas Gerais, Brazil, right next door to CBMM, the world's leader in niobium production. So we see it as a de-risk project. The mineralization has already been discovered. There's infrastructure all around us. Obviously, CBMM, very big next door to us, and a very cooperative state of Minas Gerais, who is going to assist us to expedite approvals.
Yeah, so it's interesting. If you know the commodity niobium, it's unusual because it's a virtual monopoly of just one company, CBM, as you mentioned, which is a privately held company, majority owned by the Moreira Salles family of Brazil. And yet here you are next door with some niobium-rich assets, which the company doesn't own. How did you manage to get that out of their grasp?
Yeah, no, we were very lucky to be in the right place at the right time. We're never going to be as big as CBMM, which produces 80% of the world's supply, but we know we've got very similar rocks to them. So we're very confident we can also produce a commercial niobium product, ferroniobium and niobium oxide. And the wonderful thing about niobium is there are only three primary producers in the world. So there's no really risk of oversupply. So there's no commodity fluctuation risk for the price. So it's a very good space to be in.
Right. You spoke of ferroniobium. Statistic I like to quote. When the Eiffel Tower was built back in the 1880s, it used about 7,000 tons of wrought iron. If you used high strength, low alloy steel with just a bit of niobium in it these days, you could cut the weight of the steel down to about 2,000 tons. So it's a particularly potent commodity in steel making, but there are other uses. For instance, a lot of people in the battery industry are talking about having niobium in the anode of rechargeable batteries with very great outcomes in terms of the experimental data we have.
Yeah, that's right. The primary use is still in the strengthening of steel for a wide range of applications for, as you said, construction, but also automobiles. And the big growth market is batteries. They found that adding niobium to lithium-ion batteries increases the life by 10 times, increases the charging. So you're only charging for about 10 minutes to get full charge. So it's quite a great big breakthrough there. It's still in the early stages of commercialization, but once that takes off, there's going to be a real boom in niobium.
Right. Now, you've negotiated the acquisition of your Araxa project from a Canadian company called Itafos. Talk to us about the nature of that transaction and what you hope to achieve by next month with the EGM of shareholders.
Yeah, the vendor is basically a fertilizer company. They bought the project initially for phosphate potential. And there is a big phosphate deposit next to us operated by Mosaic, which is a major fertilizer phosphate producer based in the US. It didn't really stack up as a phosphate project, so it's an encore to them. But they could see that there was a lot of value in the niobium and rare earths potential and something that we could exploit as an ASX company. They can see the valuations that ASX companies are getting for niobium and rare earths projects. So we were lucky enough to convince them to sell it to us. It's US 21 million cash price, payable in 3 installments, US 10 million now upfront, US 6 million in 9 months' time, and US 5 million in 18 months' time. And Itafos can also see the potential of our re-rating with this project. So they want to retain a 10% equity stake in St. George. They can see us being much more valuable in the future with this project.
Right. Now, it's interesting. A decade or so ago, Itafos did a PEA on Araxa. Now, they're valued at both the niobium potential as well as the rare earths. They were getting in excess of $900 million US dollars at a reasonable discount rate at that time. Now, what's changed in the meantime is rare earths have come in and out of favor, but the need for more rare earths outside of the control of China is strong. and you're sitting on some pretty good grades. Like we're talking 5%, 4 or 5% total rare earths oxides in your deposit. So, not to mention in some of the drill core, you're getting decent phosphates intersections as well. So this is a multi-commodity play.
Yeah, absolutely. Niobium is obviously the easy play out there because CBMM's been making commercial niobium products for nearly 50 years. So we know we can definitely commercialize that. Rare earths is really one of the growth sectors in Brazil. There's several ionic clay deposits which are probably going to come into production, but we've probably got the standout hard rock rare earths play. As you said, very high grades, very thick intercepts starting from surface, 60 meters at over 10% TREO from surface. So you can really conceptualize that this is a rare earths play as well.
Right, and that's interesting. So I did some looking into this. The carbonatite that hosts Araxa, both CBMM's mine and your new project, bears some striking resemblances to Mount Weld over in Western Australia, which obviously was the company maker for Linus going back. Then I look at the work that your predecessors have done. Only about 10% of the project area has been close spaced. So I won't say the sky's the limit, but let's be optimistic in terms of what you can achieve once the drill rigs get out there.
Yeah, exactly. I think the mineralization so far isn't that far off from what Linus had when they started production. So only 10% of the area closely spaced drilled. There's loads of potential, only drilling down to about 50 meters. So we're very confident we can significantly expand the mineralized footprint there and really come up with an economically viable project.
Right. So shareholders will vote, we believe, on this project sometime next month. It's January 2025 as we speak, so sometime in February. As soon as you've got control of the project, you're in a reasonably good position to be able to publish a JORC 2012 resource on Araxa and then mobilize the drill rigs to get going, potentially upgrading whatever number you come up with.
Yeah, that's right. We're already hard at work behind the scenes. We've added some in-country management, ex-senior executives from CBMM. We've got our Perth-based Brazilian experts as well. And we've also added the ex-minister of mines in Brazil on our team as an advisor. So we're really up and running and ready to hit the ground very fast once we take control of the project. There's already work underway to get that JORC resource into play based on the historical drilling. Drilling approvals have already been submitted to the relevant authorities. So we're confident we'll be able to drill very, very soon after taking control of the project in late February.
Right. Now, I should add at this point, obviously, Pitt Street Research is working with you on some more detailed research, and we've got a stake in this play. So we're talking our own book here. But a criticism you must have heard from people is that the ASX is awash with various rare earth plays, and there's now a few niobium plays, thanks to the outstanding success of WA1 Resources. What's your unique position in the universe of those two plays?
Yeah, absolutely. There's very clear standout features from the Araxa project which separate us. Firstly, it's an advanced project, so it's already been discovered. There's no real exploration risk. There's exploration upside. We're very confident the mineralization so far evidences economic grades and economic volume. So we're not an exploration play. And we're not in the middle of the desert with millions of dollars to spend to get this into production. We're in an established mining region. Araxa town is only 5 kilometers away. There's a workforce there ready, putting their hands up already, wanting jobs. So we know we can get this into production quite quickly once we do all the relevant heritage and environmental studies, etc. And the bonus there is we've got the government on our side. We signed a cooperation agreement with the state of Minas Gerais to expedite project approvals. This is something that other companies in Brazil have done, like Latin Resources, and they've fast-tracked their approvals. They've got them through in 9 months instead of the usual 3 to 4 years.
Right.
So we're really very well positioned to take this project forward.
In fact, I'm even hearing jokes now. Minas Gerais is actually more mining friendly than Western Australia, if that were possible. It seems like the red carpet's been rolled out to a lot of ASX listed players in that particular state.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So you still have to do all the right things, of course, do your heritage studies, environmental studies. But if you do that, they will fast track approvals. You won't get bogged down with, fringe kind of issues. So it is a very good place to do business.
Right. So let's go back to that in just a second. Obviously, people operating in Brazil, the big concern for a number of years now has been things like tailing dams, given the history there. What's the expectation of the government in terms of your environmental studies before you can get something done here?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Brazil had a very bad tailings dam disaster nearly 10 years ago with Samarco, but they improved their supervision of the tailings dams enormously. Of put in much bigger teams to do that. They've checked everything. They're no longer too nervous about the tailings dams issues. We don't have any tailings dams on our properties. There was a historical tailings feature, stopped being used as a tailings dam back in 1985, already been signed off by government as not having any environmental risks. So it's not really an issue for us. We've got environmental experts, the number one environmental consultant on our team, Germano Vieira. We're pretty confident we're going to do all the right things there.
Sure. For investors who don't know you, John, you've founded this company, I think, way back in about 2010, and obviously Russia is the latest pivot in what's been a long journey there. Talk to us about what you've done prior to St. George and in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, so prior to St. George, I was with a German investment bank, Commerzbank, also known as Dresdner Bank. I was lending money to mining companies, financing projects, construction and projects, also doing treasury products for gold hedging and the like. So I got a lot of interest in the mining sector through that exposure. Prior to that, was a lawyer with a big Australian law firm. So the past 10 years, I set up St. George, had some wonderful deals, joint ventures with BHP, Western Areas, IGO along the way. So very, very exciting work. Came close to making some big discoveries. We didn't quite get there. But that's the whole rationale of going for the Araxa project now. There's no exploration risk. We've got a very clear pathway to take this project forward. When we close this financing in about a month's time, pro forma market cap is estimated at $53 million. That's really a fraction of what we can be as we take this project forward. When you look at the evaluation of other niobium and rare earth companies, you notice the advanced nature of our deposit. It's a great opportunity to re-rate the company and take it forward.
Yeah, I mean, the way I answer it when people say, well, come on, haven't WA1 Resources solved the world's niobium supply indefinitely? I'm saying, yeah, try developing a mine in the West Arunta region of Western Australia, almost on the Northern Territory border. That is a long way from the middle of nowhere.
WA1, it's a terrific discovery. I'd take it any day of the week. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they will have challenges, of course, taking it forward. I wish them the best of luck. But it's a clear difference with our project. We're in an established mining region. There's already roads. You can use your mobile phone on our site. It's a really a pleasure to be able to take this project forward.
All right. Well, John Prineas, thanks for joining us at Pitt Street Research, and good luck with closing the transaction next month.
Thank you very much, Stuart.